Dzień dobry. Jak się masz? Dobrze, jestem Artur. Jestem z Brazylii, mieszkam w Belgii. Ja kocham pierogi. Szaramiś je żółty ser, dużo słoni pije mleko, piękna kon nie lubię ciasteczka, zła kaczka je rybę. Przepraszam, nie mówią po polsku, to jest mój Duolingo level. So, they have this weird, like for those who are not fluent in Polish like me, I just said I'm from Brazil, I live in Belgium, and I love pierogi, which is one of the traditional food here. And then I started saying random sentences that I learned in Duolingo. For instance, the big elephant drinks milk, the cute or beautiful horse doesn't like cookies, and the bad or evil duck eats fish. So as I didn't find the opportunity to give these sentences on the street, say, hey, my name is Artur, Szaramiś je żółty ser. Thanks for being the audience, because it's the first time I had the opportunity to practice those sentences with other people. So thanks for that. I do that first to break the ice, because I think it's a nice way to connect with you that are from here. I get so nervous that whatever comes next, I'm going to be okay. And also because I have a dream that before I die, I learned 15 different languages. So that's pretty cool to do with other countries, to practice a little bit and train my brain to learn these other languages. And there is a problem. When you are learning other languages, we feel a little bit silly, and we don't want to really practice with other people. But because you feel a bit silly and shy, you don't want to practice with other people, you are not really practicing that thing and you don't see the progress. And if you don't see the progress, you really don't want to talk to other people and go over this barrier. So that is a vicious circle, and that's a perfect segue to talk about vicious circle. Just to be on the same page, definition of vicious circle. It's a sequence of reciprocal cause and effect in which two or more elements intensify and aggravate each other, leading inexorably to a worsening of the situation. Some people would call it negative self-reinforcing loop. Some people would say downward spiral. Some others would say feedback loop from hell. I'm calling vicious circle. Are you on the same page, the definition? Now we can progress. I'm going to give you a bit more examples. But in the last 10 years working as a Scrum Master, as an agile coach, I've been working in different industries. Yes, I started in IT first, but in the last 5 years, I worked everywhere but IT. HR, procurement, payroll, sales, marketing, and the business side. So I've been around, and I've seen these vicious circles happening again and again, regardless of the industry or the department. And I thought maybe I should create a talk about that, because we might be involved in some of them and not even knowing. I'm going to give you one example just to warm up. Ready? Just warm up, huh? Easy peasy. Number one, abbreviations and acronyms. An abbreviation and acronym appear in a meeting, in an email, in a document. You don't want to ask because you don't want to look silly. But more acronyms and abbreviations will appear. But now you are there way too long in the company. Now you're going to feel even sillier if you ask. But more acronyms and abbreviations keep on appearing. Have you seen that? Raise your hand if you've seen this. Look around, just to see. I mean, you can keep it up. I'm just going to ask you this 9 times again, okay? So gather some energy in your shoulder. I have a theory that every single company has at least one abbreviation or acronym that nobody knows what the heck is that. It was created 5-10 years ago. Somebody created it, people left, everybody that knew that thing left, and we are just repeating. Every time I start with a new team, I ask the meaning of their name. And there was a team that was, I'm going to give you a hypothetical name here, XPT data. And I asked them, what is the meaning of XPT data? I got 3 different explanations. All right, but these slides are very pretty, green, blue, white. Oh, but this is a vicious circle. And I want you to feel the pain and the bad energy that a vicious circle can bring to you so you can tackle them. Dark mode. Were you distracted? Were you on your mobile, laptop? I'm going to do it again. Last time in this talk. Oh, it's a vicious circle. It's not that bad. Now let's talk about it. But because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to clean this bad energy with a nice landscape. And some tips, some practices that you can use to break those circles. For instance, just ask it yourself. What does it mean? Even if you know the answer. Because some people might be feeling that they're going to be judged if they ask. They are afraid. And that is linked to psychological safety. If people are afraid of asking the meaning of an acronym or abbreviation, imagine saying, I did a mistake, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that, can you help me? Those sentences, if you don't hear very often in your team, most likely psychological safety is not there. People are afraid of feeling judged when they say those things. Other thing you can think about, just don't use it yourself. Be clear, not clever. If you're gonna, Artur, I'm addicted to acronyms and abbreviations. Okay, use it first, open parentheses, give the explanation, and then you keep going. And the last thing, just create a glossary. I do that with every team that I start, and very often, I have people that are working there for 5, 10 years, and they're like, oh, so that's what it means. All right, this is how this talk is gonna go. Clear enough? Vicious circle, bad energy, and then some tips and some practices that you can do to break it. Ready to go? Yay! All right, let's do it. Vicious circle number 2, Scrum Master superhero. Scrum Master solves the impediment by him or herself. The team is not involved, so they don't know how to solve it. The similar or the same impediment happens again. Who will they look at? Scrum Master superhero, can you do that for us? I've been there myself because I really wanted the team to be working on what they should, what they do best. That's the first one, good intent. But there is a little bit of ego. Because I would love when I would come back to the team and say, hey, everybody, QA environment is up again. And everybody's like, yeah, like a NASA successful launch. And I'm like, yeah. That's it. All right, that's not good, right? We are creating bottlenecks. We are making sure that when you leave the company, for some reason you are sick, or you got a promotion, or you exit, or you go on holidays, or you win in the lottery, or you are run over by a truck, hopefully not, then people are really stuck because they don't know how to solve that. And you got some variations here. Team member, the guru, the expert. Have you seen that part of the software is just Mary. She's the only one who can deal with that. What, that feature? No, that's just John. We don't know how to do that. Have you seen this? Yeah? Well, bottlenecks. And the same can apply also to the team leader or boss. I'm going to do that because they don't know how to do it. It's more efficient if I do. If they don't participate, then they don't learn how to do it, and I'm going to do it because it's faster. Now, and a beautiful lake, some flowers, and an icy mountain in the back, things that you can consider. Find the root causes. I'm going to repeat that again and again. It's very easy to put a Band-Aid, but if you don't disinfect, if you don't heal the wound, it's not going to heal. It's not going to recover properly. So try to find the root cause of why this is happening. Titanic sunk for more than 100 reasons. They were way too fast on an area that was already known for having icebergs. The guy was distracted, didn't see it. The hull was not strong enough for the impact. They didn't close enough the compartment so the water could stay on the first one. The whole thing was not strong enough and it broke in the middle. By the way, they didn't even have boats enough for all the people because they thought it would never break. Everything can happen for a reason, so try to find, you can use, for instance, 5 whys, very simple technique. Define the problem, ask why it's happening, because of A. Why A is happening? Because of B. But what is causing B? Maybe C. So then you tackle the root cause. You can think about PDCA, you can think about the Ishikawa, or the fishbone, or the A tree. Those are bigger ones for bigger problems, but find the root cause. Create a skill matrix. Very powerful one. That's an example that I use already. Here you have, in the green one, you have all the expertises needed to get your product done. If it's testing, analyzing, Java, whatever you need, that's the gray area, the green area. And then the blue one, you have the features. What are the features or epics of this product? Each column, you have one person doing a self-assessment from 1 to 5. 1, you don't know anything about that. And 5, you are an expert, you are a guru. You can even teach others. So they did a self-assessment. You see here, each person has 2 columns. One that is today, 1 to 5, and here's in the future. Where do you want to go as a professional? That is generating all right, so what is needed, but where do you want to go as well? You trigger these conversations, and you see a nice average here. This column, it's just averages. You see the red ones, really low average, 1.5. you probably have just one champion for that thing. And I let them choose what are the ones that they want to tackle, that they want to improve, and how do they want to do that. Is it a one-on-one? Is it a pair programming? Is it a shadowing? Is it a hackathon? Is it a coding dojo? Is it what they want to do to share that knowledge? And stop with the bottlenecks. Another one, things that you can consider, Management 3.0, delegation board. Each role here, each role is a kind of conversation between the boss and the team, if you will. So here are all the decision makings in each role. And the number one is the boss deciding and just telling the team. Have you been in a team that all of a sudden someone joins the team and the boss says, hey, welcome Mary to the team? So what? When was it even? What? That is one way that is the team is not involved. They're not asked, it's just informed. And as you go there, the team, the number 7, the team is taking the decision. So it's a way to empower the team and move forward with the delegation. Other things, create a wiki, a basic wiki. Don't create many pages. One page for each impediment, when it happened, who solved it, what was causing it, and keep it simple for those outliers issues. And just try not to be the superhero yourself. That's already a great start. All right? Let's move forward. We have still 8 to go. Number 3, task board versus meetings. The task board is mess and outdated. You know, just Mark is updating that. The rest is not really updating the board. But then the people are like, yeah, if it's just Mark, why am I even going to put my tasks there? Doesn't make sense. But because the board is outdated and it's not been used, it's not going to be used in the events and the meetings you have. And it's not going to have the last informations of those meetings. And the value of the board keeps on decreasing. The meetings also decrease the value because it's just people speaking without any visual. The task board keeps on being outdated. There is a saying that I like that is, you cannot have clean water out of a dirty pipe. If the way you visualize your work is dirty, is messy, and not clear, it's very hard to have any clarity on what is happening there. Have you seen this? Task board and visuals not being used? Yeah? I have someone raising both hands, all right? Now, some things you can consider. Number 1, find the root causes, okay. By the way, this is not a recipe of a cake. It's just things that you can consider, but it's very nice if you can start from the root causes. Something else, just keep it simple. Don't create a board that is overcomplicated. People don't know how to do. I already worked with some Jira boards that they had so many columns, so many processes and statuses that just one person could manage that. The rest was like, okay, whatever. Let's put our tasks there in the sprint planning. People are going to take care of that. Make it easy and simple to use. Agree on the constraints. When are you going to update? The level of the tasks you're going to visualize, the flow. So agree on these constraints with the team and experiment. Color coding, columns, what makes sense. Don't take it as carved in stone that's going to stay forever. Just experiment. And it's their board, not yours. I had already an experience that I created a beautiful board. I stayed overnight creating this physical board. Beautiful, beautiful. I put all my passion and love on the board. The next morning they came and was like, yeah, ta-da! And they were like, all right, cool. I didn't involve them. I created the way I felt it would be cool. It's not my board, it's theirs. So whenever you're going to change digitally or physically, it's about them using and consuming that. Number 4, high team turnover. You know, we got to be faster. Let's hire 2 more analysts so we can go fast. Okay, I didn't even finish. People are already like, oh, okay, I know where this is going. Because of that, you need to do onboarding. Someone from the team needs to teach the tools and the ways of working. And that decreases the productivity. It's just natural. But because this decreases the productivity, let's go faster. Somebody's going to say that. Let's hire 2 more testers so we can go faster now. I started in a team once that they had 22 people. Every week, I would either say hi or bye to someone. They had 3 different bosses. They wouldn't communicate with each other. They would be like, I think it's better if we do 1 more tester. No, let's bring 1 more analyst. We need a specialist on DevOps. Have you seen that? Yeah, raise your hand. Look around as well. Raise your hand if you see it. Just not that bad. This one is kind of okay. It's going to get naughtier, and naughtier, I promise you. Now, things you can consider. That's probably in the Amalfi Coast in Italy, just to clean a bit the bad energy. Find the root causes. Try to understand why. Is it because you have different bosses, people are not involved in the hiring, why this is happening? They're not engaged. By the way, a way to see the engagement of the team is just asking for an engagement survey or an NPS, which is a Net Promoter Score. You can ask that for your product. 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend our product to a colleague or friend? Okay, you do that for the product, but what about the team? You can also consider that. From 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend to work on this team? And you can generate some insights from that. Visualizing the impact of high turnover, I like to visualize things. Many times you are just speaking. If I would be without slides here, you're going to be probably like, vicious circle, okay, kind of like, but it's different when you see, you know? Some people need to see a visual. And then you can, maybe use a bit of the Tuckman cycle, like, you have here a team that is forming, and then they start storming because, you know, they are finding behaviors that they don't like on each other. They start norming, creating norms to say, like, we are not more than 2 minutes late for a meeting. We don't speak on the mobile to talk about football in the workstation. And you start creating these norms. Luckily enough, performing as a team. Be aware that every time you hire or fire someone get in or out the team, they automatically get out of the performing and go down somewhere there. That's just a human system, how it works. Now, create a skill matrix and use, as we discussed before, and forget about this 1 month handover. Doesn't exist. Karen is working there for 3 years. Hey, Karen, now that you are leaving the team, can you do a 1 month handover? It's not even full time. It's 1 hour here, 30 minutes there. It's not going to happen. Every time someone leaves a company, there is a study. I'm going to find this study to have some source. They say that you lose 50% of the knowledge, because 50% is kind of shared, and the other 50% just leave the company, and it's very expensive. Now, vicious circle number 5, technical debt. Some people are like, I'm leaving. I don't want to keep on this talk. Don't talk about that. Artur, under the ribs here. It's hurting. Technical debt is created because that's just normal. It's part of the development. I was a developer myself, and that's how it happens. You develop a new functionality, and you cannot build it perfectly, beautifully the first time. It works, but it can always be improved, right? It can be leaner, can be maybe a different pattern. That's natural. But if you ignore it, it becomes a spaghetti code, because complexity increases. And because it's super complex application or product, it's super hard to refactor. Have you seen this house of cards? You're like, I'm just going to put this last card here, and then everything breaks. Very hard to touch that part because it's spaghetti, it's complex, and it's very hard to forecast or predict. And stakeholders would like to know a little bit better when the next feature is coming, when it's going to be done. But nobody has a clue how and when this thing is going to be ready. Because every time you say, like, it's going to be 5 story points or man days or hours, whatever you use, end up being 10 times more. So it's a mess, it's hard to predict. And because it's hard to predict, let's go faster. And you know the quality, it's okay. Let's choose speed over quality. And then the technical debt is created, and ignore the complexity increase again. It gets harder to predict, it gets harder to reflect, and so on and so on. Have you seen that? Raise your hand if you've been around that. Wow, somebody was ready. Some people were ready, like, yes, me. All right. Things you can consider to break this vicious circle. First one, I keep on spoiling. First one, find the root cause. Very good. Wow, people are paying attention. Try to understand. Maybe the developers, they don't understand the impact of that, or maybe they do, but management is just pushing and they have to do that. Otherwise, they might lose their job. So what is happening that people are ignoring technical debt? Visualize the impact. Once again, you can find dozens of charts. If you just Google technical debt chart or visual, you're going to find hundreds in Google Image that you can explain how painful and costly it is if you don't take the technical debt. Have an agreement with the leadership that you are going to take X% of your sprint or your time to refactor, to improve your code, to make it easier to understand, to read, and leaner and faster and more efficient. Create coding conventions, right? They say that a good team is normally developing and looks like it's one person developing. And you don't even need to comment on the code because the code is so clean, it's so beautiful that you don't even need to comment to explain what is the functionality. I see some tech people like, yeah. Automated tests and processes. what I see happening a lot is like we build something new. We test, we good? Let's try to build something new. Okay. Did we break that? I don't know. Let's test again. And then you test manually. And then, okay, we test this one again. We good? We good? Don't touch it. Let's build this thing here. All right, now we are building this one. We good? We happy? I really don't know if that thing is working. Let's test again. That takes a lot of time and effort, and people are just going bananas. My first mentor told me once, if you are doing the work of a machine, the machine is going to be gathering in the night, having oil and drinking and laughing at that human. Artur is doing my job. Automate the tests and the processes. People are like, no, Artur, don't joke with the machines. They're soon going to take over. Don't do the manual work, right? Make sure that it's automated and you can see when it's breaking and when and where. Who knows the scout rule? Just shout. Leave the place tidier, better than how you found it. That's another thing you can use for coding as well. When you're going to change something, just leave it better than how you found it. All right. Technical debt. Now the number 5. Number 6, conflict resolution debt. Vicious circle. I'm going to make this expression famous at some point because you have the technical debt, but you have conflict resolution debt. A conflict happens in the team. Let's say Milos, my dear friend Milos, I was working, he was speaking on the mobile, talking about football and stuff, and really distracting. But I didn't know how to give the feedback, and I just let it, because, I'm also very busy, I didn't know how to talk to him. More conflicts will happen, because now that I don't like Milos that much, he asked me for help, and I'm like, I'm busy, Milos. Now he doesn't like me back. And more conflicts are generated. Now I have way less energy to fix that. We are just putting all these conflicts under the carpet, and thinking everybody is going to be okay, and all of a sudden someone is going to step on it, it's going to be dust everywhere, and that's how you get people burned out, throwing chairs or quitting and being upset and saying things to each other. Have you seen this happening at work? All right, raise your hand, look around, see around, okay, you're not alone. Clean the tear here in the corner of the eye. For the conflict resolution debt, I pay you a beer, because we are going out tonight for a karaoke, whoever wants to join us. I pay you a beer. The first thing you can consider for that. No, I cannot pay all these beers. Find the root cause, it's somewhere there. Find the root cause, try to understand why. Maybe people don't have the tools, they don't understand, the culture for feedback is not there. Try to understand what is happening. Just introduce, and for each of those things I'm going to talk about here can be a whole new talk. Radical candor from Ken Scott. Responsibility process, Chris Avery. Nonviolent communication. And one of my favorite, the impact feedback. The impact feedback is, you don't talk about, hey Milos, you were speaking on your mobile because you don't respect us and you want to distract, and this is an assumption. Saying that you don't respect us, it's an assumption. So you just talk about that day and that time, you were speaking on your phone about things that are not related to the work, and I felt distracted. That is the impact it had on me. That's very clean, and you're not giving assumptions or telling people how to solve that. And start small. I've seen once, I just joined this team, and I saw that there was a circle around. It was a retrospective. People were joining the retrospective. The Scrum Master closed the door, almost locking, and he dragged one chair to the center. All right, Jane, now you sit in the middle. Now everybody's going to tell Jane what you liked about her and what she can do better. What? Time out, time out. Nope, this is an execution. That's not a feedback. Start small. If people are not there yet, what are the things that you can introduce like those? And you start creating the feedback culture. And just update the team agreement. What is a big no-go? What are the things that you want to do as a team? So we want to be punctual, no more than 2 minutes. On Friday afternoon, we don't have any meetings. We don't talk on the mobile about football in the middle of a meeting or when others are working. So try to have these working agreements. Ready to go? We keep going. Let's go. Some few more. Number 7, no whip limit. Yes, round of applause. Round of applause for him. What does it mean? Yes. We just talked in the first vicious circle. If you don't know, or even if you know, just ask. Whip limit. Thanks, sir. What's your name? I know, that's why I like you. Well, what's your name? Sergey. Got your beer, if you're gonna go out with us. No work in progress limit. What does it mean? Work is pushed top down into the team because it's high priority. Now the team is trying to juggle with all those things in progress at the same time. But because they have so many in progress at the same time, there is context switching, there is waste, there is no focus, and they go slower. Now that they are not going fast enough, I really need my feature to get started. Push that, otherwise heads are gonna roll. Now they have more than 50 stuff at the same time. I saw a team once that they had 193 things in progress at the same time. And they were not the size of this group here. I'm talking about 10 people. Have you seen this happening at work? Yeah, look around, see that you're not alone. Right. Now, maybe probably a beach on Portugal. I love Portugal. I have my double citizenship. I go there 3 times a year, and that's probably Comporta Beach. Consider, why is it happening, right? Is it really them pushing, or sometimes the team think that's the best way, is just getting a lot in progress at the same time? This is a pitfall of efficiency. So try to understand why this is happening. Visualize, for instance, here. We have one task, and you can call task by feature, epic, task, whatever you want to call. You go, you finish A here. You go to B, you finish B here, and then C. But that's not really what is happening. Normally what happens, we start a little bit of each, and there is context switching in the middle, and A, instead of ending here, A is only going to get there. That's where you're going to deliver your value. That's when you're going to get feedback and know if that makes sense or not. That is a very good example of just 3 things at the same time. Now imagine 193 for a team with 10 people. Those things in the middle, they are context switching and waste. You are working, fixing a bug here with Mary, and then another one here, user story by yourself, and you have to remember what you've done with Jake last week. That's just context switching waste. Very beautiful, just a bullet point on a slide, but super hard to have. Align with the product owner, with the leadership, with the stakeholders. Align with them that this is just a pitfall of efficiency. To get a lot done at the same, in progress at the same time doesn't mean you're going faster. And pushing things onto the team is like putting more paper in a printer machine, expecting it to print faster. The maximum you're going to get is paper folded, toner going out, and bad quality printing. New motto for you. You print it big, put on the wall. Finish more, start less. Artur, I didn't like it. Okay, I got a variation for you. Stop starting, start finishing. Create this big motto because that's how you go faster, with higher quality, with knowledge sharing, and early feedback. Now moving forward, number 8, no time for improvement. All right, 1-day training for this lean startup stuff, or for this agile stuff, or for this Scrum, or for this UX thing. Okay, that's maybe too long. Can you do it in 1 hour? Yeah, sure. But because you did it in 1 hour, roles and responsibilities were not clear, conflicts are arising, and a lot of misunderstanding. Now they are scheduling many meetings to fix all these problems, and they are having way more time invested than 1 day that they would previously invest. And because of that, now they are full of meetings, and we don't have time. And now you're going to introduce this UX thing to us. We don't have time. Can you do that in half an hour? And so on, and so on. Have you seen this happening around? Yeah? Right now? Right now, there or here in this talk? Oof. I don't know, maybe I was doing something wrong. Yeah, this is happening, and yeah, it's pitfall of efficiency. Just do it faster. But you are going to invest way more time to solve all these problems. Whoever wants to hike, beautiful. Oh, if someone wanted to take a picture, I think 3, 2, 1, and go. Now, to a second chance if you didn't. First thing for time, no time for improvement. Root cause. If people are going to wake up in the middle of the night, root cause. What? Yes, root cause. Just try to understand why this is happening, right? Maybe, yeah. It's pressure from stakeholder. Once again, the team might not see the value of this. What is happening around? And visualize with or without improvement. Silly one. I just did the drawing again of a very traditional one. We don't have time. Yeah, but if you take just a little bit of time to change those wheels for maybe a normal wheel, you can go faster. Or even further, if you want to improve here, yeah, this is the speed for improvement and innovation. and here the value and the metrics when, you're going to have the returns. Doing the same, flat line. Occasionally improving, kind of going high. Continuously improving. Kaizen means every day, everybody, everywhere. And here, a continuous improvement and innovation, you have some bigger jumps. Sometimes people just need a simple chart like this, that they click and it's like, all right, and then you maybe translate to some numbers. Get the leadership support. Make sure that they understand that the team needs to invest this time and visualize this on your backlog, on your sprint backlog. Whoever created or whenever you create a new action from the retrospective, treat that as a work. Visualize it. It's not something invisible that team might be doing somewhere. Put it on the board, visualize, and follow that up. Try small and some successful cases. Whatever you implemented, we started these automations of tests here, and because of that, we are saving 5 hours per week, and 5 hours per week at the end of the year is going to be that. That's the amount of money you're going to be saving, etc. People are like, all right, okay, so let's go to the next one. Don't let the risk of bankruptcy be the reason for your improvement and innovation. Now it's getting tricky. No, I think we're about to break. Hey, Stuart, what is that agile thing that you mentioned 3 years ago? That might be too late. Number 9, toxic behaviors. The company doesn't deal with the toxic behaviors. Because, Mark gets the number. Jane, I know it's a bit hard to work with her, but she gets things done. But because of that, they create employees that are actually getting the numbers and the things done, and they're pleasant to work with because they share knowledge, they are nice, they're kind, they want to improve, they want to share knowledge, they start leaving. And then the only ones left are the ones with toxic behaviors, and they go to leadership positions. And what do? They hire people that think alike. And then the company doesn't deal with the toxic behaviors. Have you seen this happening somewhere? Not in our company today, in a parallel universe, on a previous company. Maybe the boss is next to you, like, are you going to raise your hand? Are you going to raise your hand? First step. Nope. Separate the behavior from the person. I honestly, genuinely don't think that people wake up in the morning like, I want to be a jackass today. I'm going to make Mark cry today. Ha, ha, ha. People are, they great kids, great parents, great siblings. Something is happening. So separate the behavior from the person. Don't take it personal and treat the behavior. Act on the behavior, not on the person. And second, root causes, but listen to understand. When you're talking to someone having and showing these behaviors, don't go like, just tell me why you are a jackass. Just go. Just, because I know. Okay, huh? That might not be a good beginning of the conversation. Try to understand what is happening. Many things can be happening outside, for instance, just personal issues. Something is happening that is triggering these toxic behaviors in the company. The person is great, but something is happening. We cannot simply put our jackets hanging and then go to work. That doesn't work. Some companies might treat it like that, but doesn't happen. Sometimes just the why of agile is not clear. People are like, this thing is being pushed onto us. I have no idea. My boss said now I have to be a product owner. It's not that very clear, but I'm going to do it. And sometimes HR is not involved. You are asking people to change their behaviors, to share knowledge, to collaborate, to help each other, etc., when the way they get the bonuses and promotion or demotion is still the same. It's like individual KPIs. What are you going to choose? These fancy buzzwords, agile, blah, 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 or what is paying for the bread and, making sure that you're paying the bills? So sometimes when HR is not involved, it's very hard to have a change of behaviors if it's still the same old ways. Adjusting the team agreements. Sometimes it's very important to say, this is a no-go. We just don't interrupt each other with the hand on the face like this. We don't swear when you're talking serious and you are discussing important things. I've seen already a guy that just stormed out and said some swearings in other languages there. That is like, people are like, wait, what happened? And you gotta have this agreement, like, this doesn't happen, and you have to have it very clear. Have hard conversations. If you are in a leadership position, you gotta talk to the people and say like, hey, I'm sorry, yellow card. That's the last time. The next time this happens is red card, and that's it. Because this is impacting the team because of this and this and that. You have to have these hard conversations. And if you're moving a person, because of some toxic behaviors. After trying all these things above, didn't work. Explain why. Round of applause for our dear friend that helped with the microphone for all the talks. For real, for real. He helped me a lot. I wanted to put the ukulele here and with the microphone, and he's like, no, don't do that. That's crazy. So they're helping us to keep the conference going, and that's very helpful. If you move a person from one team to the other because you tried everything, explain why. I had already one person that was moved from one team to the other. I met this person after months and months because the person was always interrupting, didn't let anyone talk, and it was aggressive, and it wanted to push his own way to work. And I met this person after months. And I asked, like, all right, how is it going in the second team? It's still the same. They don't get me. They don't let me talk, etc., etc. I'm like, what was the reason they told you why they moved? Because they wanted my skills to be better utilized on the second team. I'm like, oh. If you are in the leadership position doing that, be honest for just the sake of being honest and transparent. Secondly, because you don't want to destroy another team because of that. And let's be clear, you are giving an option for the person to improve. You are telling what are the toxic behaviors so the person is aware and can work on that. All right? Good for the last one. Ready? Do some stretching. What is your favorite stretching? Just do, whatever stretch you want to do. To the side, the hand. I saw a leg going up. We have a bailarina on the audience. That was crazy. Like, woo! All right, that's the last one. Number 10. Fake agile. Fake agile. A new request or idea is raised. Now, the team communicates directly to the customer to know their needs and their pains, and because of that, they create a backlog together that is very well prioritized. They start working on the high priority thing, delivering as early as possible and frequently as possible to get feedback from the users. And then they collaborate together, transparent in the team, talking directly to the customer. Artur, if that's a fake agile, I don't know what we are doing in our company. That's quite good agile, right? Direct communication, no man in the middle, prioritizing, focus. So let's come back. Backlog, a new need, request, and idea is raised. Now buckle up, fasten your seatbelts. Imagine that you are in a bug through the dunes and go up, down the water and the forest because things are going to go crazy. Let's go. That's the last one. New request and idea is raised. Then you have gates, signatures, and another gates and sign-offs and handovers. People doom, 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 doom. And then, a group of people are working on that to refine, to make sure that is very well refined because developers must be developing. That's more efficient. And then this is called demand. That's business. Demand, what? And then there is this invisible wall. It's thrown over the invisible wall to what is called demand. The demand supply, we have the same pockets, the same company with the same users, but we separate with each other with invisible. No problem. Okay, but let's keep going. Throw it to the product owner because, IT, can you go faster now and do your agile thing and deliver every 2 weeks? Wait, what? And then the product owner is like, okay, let me try to understand all these requirements and these user stories, whatever you gave me. And then the product owner goes to the team and tries to explain the team and say, hey, this is the thing that we have. And the team is like, all right, for sure, let's try to work on that. And the team is working. Of course, it's not clear for them. So they have to come back to the product owner 57 times, try to understand what is that, because it was not clear. And then finally they get something done, and it's not really what the customer needed. And now we start the rollback with finger pointing and friction. The team is going to say, what? That was given by the PO. And the PO is like, no, I got that from the small group of people that were working on that before. The small group of people are going to be, what? No. That was the customer. The customer actually didn't give right the requirements. And then at the end, you are pointing and blaming the customer. And a new request and idea have to be created to fix all that. Have you seen this happening? Maybe in a previous experience and not in your current. That can be painful, and that takes months and months. Now, for fake agile, things that you can consider. Why the heck this is happening? Let's be clear. Is it because business is not involved? Is just IT kind of improvement? What is happening there? Involve the business and leadership and HR on that. Once again, you cannot ask people to change the behavior by keeping the same ways of evaluating and getting bonuses and raises. Secondly, all the leadership and business, they also got to be trained. They got to understand what is this agile thing, what is expected from them, what they can expect from these people, and they also got to be coached and involved in this transformation. Translating to pocket pain. It's another expression I want to make famous. Some people only understand when it's hurting in the pocket. You know, people are not collaborating, people are leaving the team. All right, okay. You know, we are taking 7 months to deliver a new feature that's taking 100,000 euros. That could be in 2 months if we improve this and this and that, and probably you're going to be spending 20,000 per feature. Wait, cancel my meeting with Barack Obama, please. I just need to pick up this. Can you tell me more? Sometimes gotta hurt. And don't come up with fake numbers. Just make a real simulation of those numbers. Value stream mapping. Just ask them, from the moment there is a request to the moment you deliver, what are all the steps? Sometimes by only having these post-its on the wall, people are already like, for real? That's all it's taking? Because they are used to see that on a slide in a snake position or just high level. By the way, what you see here is just business. That's a real one I've done, and that was only on the demand part. IT would pick it up only here after months. Value stream mapping, very powerful. User story mapping, great way to visualize the customer journey on top, the building blocks, and you have all people present in the room. Testers, analysts, developers, stakeholders, users, they are sitting together and they're taking these conversations to another level, aligning their noses to the same direction before any line of code is developed, in case you're building software. Very powerful, and I've seen again and again, leadership is like, but why the testers are there? The testers should be testing. It's expensive meeting, man. Come on. I'm like, okay, just give us a time. After 1 hour of a workshop, people taking decisions, the shy tester from the back, excuse me, if you do that first, instead of that, you're going to break the performance. It's going to take 10 seconds for each request instead of microseconds. Everybody's like, wait, what? You got to take these pieces of the puzzle earlier instead of having only at the end of the line. Very powerful workshop. And create successful cases. I've been in many different transformations, top down, bottom up, all in, micro steps, baby steps. The ones I've seen working the best is the one that you make it work in one team, make some noise, and the team was developing and delivering after 6 months. Now it's 2 months with higher customer satisfaction, and you created this appetite. And you start, other people are like, can you do this thing here as well? Can you talk about this here? That I've seen working better because it's a pull system. People are asking you to go there and try this thing instead of being pushed. Because if you push, third law of Newton works like a charm. Whatever force you apply to an object is going to apply the same force back. All right. Now, here are the 10 vicious circles. For you, just to have all in the same one. They are there again and again. Different departments, different teams. And you know what is worse? Sometimes you can be involved without knowing. And sometimes they are reinforcing each other. For instance, technical debt is making sure that we are, okay, it's very slow, it's hard to tackle, hard to refactor anything. And because of that, you have high team turnover because people are like they're hiring more people to go faster. And then you have some toxic behaviors being triggered because, you know, like, we gotta tackle the technical debt, but we are not, and they're reinforcing each other. So that's why I thought about this session. So visualize it because this is happening again and again. So you can think about maybe printing, bringing it to your peers, bringing it to the leadership, having these conversations, and prioritizing. What do you want to tackle first? What are the most important vicious circles for you to break first? And you start breaking them up one by one. Now that you felt some pain, it's like, vicious circle, Artur. It's probably enjoy a positive self-reinforcing loop. You were in this conference. You met great new people. You learned something new, hopefully. Yeah, you met these great new people. They're going to recommend you to other places, maybe conferences or endeavors. There you're going to meet other great new people, and you're going to have great time, learn other things with other great new people. Hopefully this self-reinforcing loop keeps on going, and you go to meetups and conferences and new endeavors, and you enjoy this knowledge sharing in the community. So thank you so much. Let's keep in touch on LinkedIn. That's where you can connect. Hopefully it works. And I appreciate your time here. Have a great weekend. And thank you so much.